What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Wolves Den on a beautiful snowy Saturday. I'm looking right outside the window. It is beautiful. It's quilted with a lot of snow. It's nice and fluffy. It's gorgeous. Today I'm going to be bringing you a review of The Girl Who Leapt Through Time. And this is an anime directed by a man named Mamoru Hosoda. I doubt I pronounced that correctly. I apologize if I did. It was released in Japan in 2006, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was 2006. And this is one that I heard about for a long time, and it's been a long time coming for me to watch this. I've been wanting to watch it for years, and I finally did. And it was great. It was a very enjoyable movie. It was different than I expected, but it was a good different. It's one of those differents where you're pleased that it was different than you anticipated. It's about this high school girl named Makota, I believe was her name, and it's just the plot is as simple as her going through her daily life just as a high school girl, and she just happens to one day be able to leap through time. And it's, you know, at the moment it's mysterious as to why. You know, it's some form of an accident is about to happen, and then bam, she appears, you know, in another location and is confused. And she learns about the concept of time leap, as they said in the movie, and then the plot continues with her knowing that she can do a time leap, of her being her normal high school self, but then as a high school student, you know, things don't always go your way, especially on a daily basis. Her taking advantage of being able to do a time leap in order to correct things. It's got a pretty interesting subplot revolving directly with that, where, you know, she's doing these time leaps to make positive corrections, but completely forgets that, you know, it's got like an accidental butterfly effect. So because of that, she completely forgets that what she's doing to correct things might cause negative effects. So it's pretty cool to watch her be a high school student and do these time leaps and then watch how things unravel. It's not the most complex plot in the world. It's very simple, but what makes it so engaging to watch how things unfold is the charming characters. There's the main character I already mentioned, Makota. She's a high school student, female. And she has two best friends who are guys, and the movie has various situations that revolve around that many of us have seen during our high school days, where a girl is best friends with a couple guys, but, you know, God forbid they only be friends, and it's like, okay, are you dating so-and-so? Like, that happens multiple times, and she's like, oh no, ew, he's my friend. And it's cute to watch. And the guys that are her friends, you know, they have their own charming, you know, way about them too, to keep you engaged with what's going on. You know, what their personalities are, how they are. You know, the one guy is very studious. He's very disciplined. You know, he's always got his nose in the books. He's never causing trouble. He's not lazy. The other guy friend is more rambunctious. You know, he's not necessarily lazy, but he's like go with the flow type of thing. He likes to have fun. And then she's like somewhere in between. You know, she's, you know, pretty studious, but she's not like her nose is in the books or anything. She has fun. She's like, you know, it's almost like, you know, average student type of thing. And their interaction as a trio is very awesome to see and watch unfold as the story does its thing. And it's got a pretty interesting twist as to why she's able to do these time leaps. I'm not going to spoil that. Anybody who has seen this movie, though, knows what I'm talking about. And I was pretty blown away at what the twist was as to why. Because she has a limited number. It's not like, you know, it's not like one of those things in a fictional movie or show where she hits a certain point post-puberty and she's able to do this thing. No, there's a reason it happened, aside from that type of thing, and she has a limited number but doesn't realize it. And what happens to the later portion of the movie, in relation to having a limited number, it's like sort of on the edge of your seat as to, oh God, is things gonna be messed up from here on because of the decisions she made. Now, for the negatives of this movie, the animation itself was not too good. And I don't mean the style of animation. I just mean the legitimate like quality that was shown. It's almost like it was like a made-for-TV movie, or it was the animation quality you'd see in a show. That comes down to one of two things: either budget, there wasn't much money to to deal with, or the people who made the movie just weren't that skilled. It's one or the other. I think it was probably budget, honestly. That's the more likely option, since it was a theatrical movie. But I was able to forgive that because of the gripping plot combined with the charming characters. That made me completely forgive it and overlook it. I recognized that it was lower quality animation, but I didn't care because I was so intrigued as to what would happen with these characters. Another negative would be it felt a little longer than it was. It's roughly an hour 40 minutes, and it felt like it was 20 or 30 minutes longer than it was. So it's got a little bit of a pacing issue. It's not too bad. It's not like a 2-hour movie. It feels like a 3-hour movie type of deal. It just feels like it's 20 or 30 minutes longer. So it's not too bad, but there was a few moments where I thought it was like this deep into the movie, but then it wasn't. I remember one point actually. I pressed triangle on my I watched it on my PlayStation 4. I pressed triangle on the controller to see how far I was in the movie. I was like, I think I've watched about like maybe 45 minutes of this. Press triangle to bring up the time bar, and it said 26 minutes and whatever seconds. I was like, shit. And that's where I knew that it had a little bit of a pacing issue. But that's more of a minor thing. It honestly is, because it wasn't too bad of a pace. That's just it though. Those two things. Other than that, I very much enjoyed this movie. When the movie was over, I was smiling. I was happy. I was so glad I watched it. It's one of those movies that it has just that feel-good vibe to it. When you finish the movie, you just can't help but to feel good about yourself. I enjoy those movies. Despite how simple it was of a plot, the fact that it had charming characters with what was going on, it made me smile when the movie was done. Okay, so my final thoughts. I very highly recommend this movie to anybody. It doesn't matter if you're an anime fan or not. And it doesn't matter how old you are. Although it's probably more of like anywhere from a teenager to somewhere in your 20s is probably like the range that this is more appropriate for. But it is good enough and appropriate enough for anybody to watch. So seriously, check this out. My final grade for it is, I'd say, is an A-, just because of that little bit of a pacing issue and that lower quality of animation. Just because of those two things, I dropped it down. I have to drop it down to that. And because of those two things, combined with the plot, it might not be for everybody, but it's still a very well-made movie. And it's a very high quality overall of a movie. It's not perfectly made, but it is very high quality. I suggest it for everybody. If you've seen this movie though, give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Give it a thumbs up if you want to see it. Comment down below if you've seen it or not, if you like it, if you don't like the movie, what your thoughts on the movie are in general. Let me know these things. Subscribe to my channel to see more of my content. Join my wolf pack. I'd appreciate you guys if you did. Until the next thing I put up, you guys take it easy.